I'm Lena from Queen Street Yoga, and I'm here with Emma, another teacher here. And today I'm going to tell you about a couple common misalignments that people often have when they're weight bearing in the wrists, and this can contribute to pain, discomfort, or injury. And then I'm also going to talk about some modifications that you can use if you already have an injury, such as carpal tunnel syndrome or a sprained wrist or that kind of thing, to still keep up your yoga practice but not aggravate your injury. So and I'm just going to come on to all fours. One of the most common problems is that people just have their hands spaced too close together or too wide apart. Another is that they have their hands turned in or outward. And then lastly, probably the most common problem is that people have the weight unevenly distributed on the wrist, often into the outer wrist. And this creates compression into the small, delicate bones in the outer wrist. So to correct those things, we want to have the hands outer shoulder distance apart. We want to bring the creases of the wrists parallel to the front of the mat and to each other. And then we also want to have the weight evenly distributed between all 10 of the fingertips gripping the floor and between the base of the thumb, index finger, and base of the pinky. And so it creates this gripping of the floor which tones and creates a doming through the center of the palm and tones up through the forearm muscles. And then from there you can come into a pose like a plank where there's quite a bit of weight in the wrists and the wrist bones are well supported because of that tone and that good alignment and form. You can also take this into down dog or things, fun stuff like handstands. If you already have an injury to your wrists and you want to avoid weight bearing or need to reduce your weight bearing, here are some other tips that you can use. You can take some squares of old mat and fold them or roll them up and place them under the heel of the hands with your fingers coming over top of that onto your mat. So this is just going to increase the incline a little bit away from the floor so that there's not so much jamming into the back of the wrist, and then you still want to practice all those alignment tips that I talked about. That's for just a minor aggravation to the wrist. If that one doesn't work, you can take 2 blocks and turn the fingertips out, have the thumbs on the inside, and this external rotation through the wrists and the gripping that you can do into the blocks a little bit more can take some of the pressure out of the wrists. And from there you can do your plank or your down dog. Just want to make sure that you have a strong enough, stable enough block, like a cork or wood block will work better than a foam one for something like this. And then lastly, if you've had a major injury to your wrist and you need to avoid weight bearing for a while that recovers, then you can come onto the forearms instead for poses like plank, down dog, side plank. For more stability, you can have your hands interlaced together, or if it feels good, you can have them apart too. So those are some great options, and I hope that helps you keep up your practice and take good care of your wrists. Thanks, Emma. See you later.